The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome to the show today. I'm really excited. We're going to be talking about how to shine in your business and your relationships, including that relationship with yourself. I have two wonderful experts that are joining me today, and we're going to be sharing our thoughts and our insight and our wisdom, and we're really happy to answer any questions you may have, because this show is really created for you, to serve you, and help you move forward powerfully in your life. So before we get into the meat of the show, I wanted to let you know how to interact with us. So one, you can go to the phone and call 888, so that's 888-346-9141, and just say you have a question for Rebecca or for one of her guests, and they'll be happy to connect you with us. I promise I won't share your name unless you give it up and you want me to. Of course, I'm happy to do that, but I really want you to be safe interacting with us. If you are more comfortable interacting via email, if you go to the site that you're listening to this show on live, you scroll down right below the blue banner that says Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. You're going to see a Facebook link that you can click and follow us, which we love. You'll see Twitter, iTunes. We're now on iTunes, so please check that out as well, replays. But right below that, you're going to see a gray box that says send a message to the host, and you would simply click that, type in your message, and I'll be checking that system throughout the show today. So please let us know if there's something you want us to focus on today, a burning question, or we love aha moments, insights that really touched you, and that is such an encouragement to us. And I really, really want to encourage interaction today, especially because I think I intimidated my guests just before we went live. So behind the scene moment, as we were chit-chatting before we went live with the show, one of my guests asked how many listeners are there on Voice America, and I just kind of casually shared there's 5.5 million listeners every month. And then they informed me that perhaps they didn't want to know that right before they went on live. So guests, I'm sorry. I promise you're safe. It's a wonderful, beautiful community that's listening to us. And then listeners, we're also going to make some amazing free gifts available to you today. So make sure to listen up on how to access that. Listen for your favorite gift, or maybe you want all the gifts, and we'll tell you exactly how to access that information. So I'll share it with you now, but I promise we'll tell you again as we go through the show. If you look on that same screen and you scroll over to the right-hand side, you're going to see links. And the top link there, and it's kind of a mustardy yellow color, it says Free Show Gifts. You simply click on that, you input your name and your email address, and then it opens up to the world of all these wonderful free gifts that we wanted to make available to you to really empower you in moving forward on your journey in life. If you're happening to listen to the replay, you can always go to the Voice America site that you had the replay link on, and that gift link will still be there. Or if you're listening to the replay on my website, which is www.yourpurposedrivenpractice.com, the radio show tab up in the left-hand corner, you'll also see I would like my empowering gifts, and you click on that and it will also open up all of those opportunities to you. our two guests today, we have the amazing Dr. Gary Salyer, who, Gary, I just know you as Gary, but he is a Dr. Gary Salyer. I'm very excited to have you. And he's the creator of Safe to Love Again. So welcome, Gary.
Thank you, Rebecca. I'm really glad to be here.
And then we have the dynamic Deanne Hayes, who is the owner of Ink It Up Designs, and one of her favorite phrases is, if you can think it, we can ink it. So, Deanne, I welcome you to the show as well.
Oh, thank you so much, Rebecca. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. And as I was preparing for the show, I always like to think about a message or a story or a theme that will really help set the tone for all of us today. So we're in a connected, heart-centered place, all on the same page. And the one that was really laid on my mind to share is a story about one of my grandmothers and me. And this was a time, and I usually share this story from stage, so I started to hold my hand up here as I'm explaining the story to you to show you how tall I was in respect to age. So I'm assuming I was around the 5-6-year-old range, I think. I just have the picture of me. And I'm standing there holding this tray of something. You can't quite tell what it is, but I have the biggest, proudest smile on my face, because I had just learned how to make cookies, one of my most favoritist things in the whole world. And my grandmother had empowered me to do so. My family had oohed and awed that these were amazing cookies, and there weren't that many survivors, because, this is my first attempt. But the ones that did survive, that they sampled, they loved. And I wanted to go do and make these cookies again and again and again. They were not bake show worthy cookies. You couldn't even really tell what they were if I didn't explain it to you, because they didn't necessarily look like cookies. But because my experience had been so positive, that they oohed and awed, and I had discovered how to mix ingredients together and make something I loved, I felt empowered, and I could take on the world, and I could do anything I wanted to do. And I wanted to go and make cookies again and again. But if my experience had been a little bit different, if instead my grandmother had said to me, "Don't you know, when you take the cookie tray out of the oven, you don't tilt it, losing half of the cookies in the oven and on the floor. Look at the mess you made. How could you be so foolish? How could you not know these things?" Or if she'd said, "Rebecca, don't you know, when you go to put away the flour, you seal it first before enthusiastically moving across the kitchen to throw it away, losing half the flour all over the place. Look at the mess you made. What a waste. I can't believe I spent time and energy teaching you, and you don't even know these things. Now we don't even have flour to make biscuits later." Or if she'd said, "Don't you know, when you mix wet and dry ingredients, you don't do it enthusiastically, losing half the batter all over the counter, instead of moving it more slowly at first. How could you be so stupid? How could you not know these things everyone should know?" Do you think I'd ever want to make cookies again? I would say no. And yet, without that judgment and that negative criticism, I was still able to improve. And they did become bake show worthy, and I love baking to this day. But I was able to improve with something I call the childlike discovery mindset. I was able actually to celebrate and discover, I made these amazing things. I want to do this again and again. Now, how can I make it even better next time so I have more survivors, so I have more cookies? And I was able to do that without the negativity. But what I find is so many of us hear those other voices and we tell them to ourselves. And as we're growing and as we're stretching and we're wanting to be empowered and we're wanting to learn all that there is out there, and we want to share what's on our hearts to share, we get stopped in our tracks because we talk to ourselves that way. How could you be so foolish? How could you not know these things everybody knows? And we don't know what we don't know. And what I want to invite you to do today, especially as we're talking about business and we're talking about relationships, is I want you to leave the negativity at the door and really look for what I call cookie moments, an opportunity to discover something new, a perspective you haven't heard before, and something that could help you be even better in the areas you're wanting to be better in. Not with this negative, judgmental type of thing. That just doesn't help. But more with, wow, I didn't know that. Now that I know that, I can try this. I can try that. And guess what? Your first attempt may look like my first cookies. But you know what? They still tasted great. A little bit singed. And they got better and better, and it was an enjoyable process. And I want to have growing and being empowered and moving forward in your business and in your life to be a positive, growing experience, not a negative one. So I really, really invite you to be on the lookout for these cookie moments in your life and taking the perspective of, wow, I did this. I want to celebrate that I tried this. And now, how can I make it even richer? How can I make it even better? What did I love about that? And what do I want to do to make myself shine in that place and try it at an even higher level that brings more of me in? And I invite you to take just a deep breath. And those of you that are driving, I want you to keep your hands on the wheels. Don't close your eyes. Keep focused on what's going on around you. But inside, I invite you to just kind of be still as we're breathing in and listen. And for those of you that are able to sit or stand, whichever helps you, take in a deep breath and kind of center. And I invite you to actually lay your hands on your heart, breathing in. And I want you to just sit and think for a moment, where would I like to have a cookie moment? What is something I could celebrate that I'm trying, that I'm stretching in? And what is it that you need from us today to help you do that? Just breathe in, see what one word or phrase comes to your heart and your mind. And Gary, did you have a word or a phrase that you'd like to share?
Yeah, just groundedness.
Grounded. Good. Thank you. How about you, Deanne?
The one that comes to my mind and heart is love.
Yes, I love love. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's interesting as I was preparing for today, what kept being on my heart was like anticipation and excitement with a little bit of a playfulness. Almost like how you can rub your hands together and kind of lean in when you're excited. That kind of energy, that's how I want to look at my life. And as I step into things and learn things, like be expecting. I want to be expecting great things that I can uncover, that I can learn about myself and others so that I can really step forward in my life in a powerful way. One more big, deep breath. And we're getting ready to go to break here. So while we do that, I would love to encourage you to just sit for a moment and really listen to what it is you need to help you move forward in that way in your life. And just listen to the wisdom that's shared, because when we know what we need and we have clarity on what to be on the lookout for, it's a lot easier to recognize it and step into that. We look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
Your people are waiting for you.
Do you speak to have more impact and grow your business? Your people are waiting for you, waiting to hear your unique message. Learn to speak more effectively on the Speakers Summit, a free summit designed for speakers like you. More info at thespeakersummit.com. Your people are waiting for you. Are you ready for them?
Your people are waiting for you. Be ready.
Have you friended us on Facebook yet? Why not? Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for the keywords Voice America. Once you are part of our Facebook network, you'll receive daily messages about what's happening with our shows, this week's featured guests, and new happenings of the Voice America Talk Radio Network. And you can add your voice to the always active discussions on our wall. Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for Voice America.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network wherever you go. In addition to listening live, you can check out information about your favorite talk show hosts, discover new talk show personalities, add shows to your list of favorites, and listen to all our show archives on demand. All from your iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market, and get ready to tune in. The Voice America mobile app, powered by Aircast.
Build your better business. Achieve that goal. Make good on that resolution. The Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed your break, got to stretch a little bit, and have some beautiful insights that have come to you during that moment of reflection. One thing I wanted to touch on as we're shifting into talking with our first guest here is part of the key with these cookie moments, with these stretching opportunities, is the celebration. And really making sure that when you try something new or you're doing something but you're trying it a new way, it's really, really, really important to pause and celebrate as you're stepping forward and you're figuring out how you want to make it even better. But that celebrating first is really, really important. So be on the lookout for celebration moments. Our first guest here is Dr. Gary Salyer, and he is the creator of Safe to Love Again. He's a workshop leader, an author, and a transformational coach. And I love Gary's energy, and he has such a heart to serve that if he finds out what his people need and he can bring it forward, he will find a way to do that. And I love his commitment to the people he's called to serve and his heart and really helping people create safe relationships and becoming someone that's safe to love again and being able to step into that space. So Gary, I welcome you and I appreciate that about you.
Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that so much. It's really been a great privilege to be able to serve your people, and thank you so much.
You are very welcome. And I always like to start my questions with why. Why is this work important to you? Why are you drawn to helping people in this way, and that it's such a commitment laid so heavily, but with joy on your heart?
Well, I think what it really came down to is, I'm like many people that go into this type of work, I had to have the requisite childhood to give me the sort of pain that I could understand it. Because really, if you haven't kind of been here, it's very difficult to help people. I mean, I came from a family that for 7 generations, there was alcoholism. There was a lot of dysfunctional relationships. And I swore to God that I would never be divorced. So I went to college. I got a degree in psychology. I even went a fifth year in order to get a third degree in marriage and family. And the shock of my life was when I wound up divorced. I could not believe it. And there was a part of me that realized just traditional book learning, even doing therapy, the way it's been practiced, wasn't enough to change the patterning in my life. And I dedicated the rest of my life to cracking the code so that people could have the love they deserve and all the happiness that comes with being in a partnered, secure, loving relationship. And that's really where it came down to, was learning that what I had been given wasn't enough.
Well, and I just want to acknowledge for a moment your experience, but that you're really wanting to step into this place, or this is some of what I hear. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, that you're shifting 7 generations of patterns, and that you made this commitment to, in a sense, change the history, like putting a stick in the ground, and my family's story is not going to keep repeating this pattern. And I just think that's really, really beautiful. And your commitment to that and experiencing what you did has given you a depth and an understanding and an insight on top of the book learning and degrees that you really bring to all that you serve.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the funny thing was, I was also the first person in 7 generations to graduate from high school. So getting a PhD, I obviously blew the mold on that one. But what was the shock of my life, though, was getting a divorce. I couldn't understand it. And I just said to myself, it was really sort of my late 40s that I began to ask the question, how did this happen? And if I could shift it with education, why can't I shift it in love? Now, I found out that shifting one's relationship with love is a little deeper patterning than just doing schoolwork. But it is possible. And that's what I've been devoting my life to, is to really help people step into that fullness of what they truly want and what they deserve. Because most of us go around thinking we don't deserve the love if we've grown up through some sort of family like that. And so it's all about restoring the right to be loved in our life. And that's really kind of the key to what I do. To find the right relationship, you have to restore your rights.
And you call this process safe to love again. Is that correct? I don't want to use the term.
I call it the safe to love again process, yes.
Yeah, and would you explain a little bit of how you started to share a little bit of how it works and how shifting that relationship does, but really, what does it mean to become someone that's safe to love again and feels like it's safe to love?
Yeah. One of the things that's called attachment theory, and it's a big scholarly term for the science of what goes on in the brain that enables us to have love. And what we find out is that there is basically 3 types of relationships. Avoidant, where they avoid intimacy, gets to be too much. Anxious, where they're always fighting to get more because they're afraid it's going to go away. And then there's the secure set. And what we really have to do is to go back and work with the part of the brain that encodes safety. Now, this happens to be the reptilian part of our brain. It's only 350 million years old, and all it does is to associate original conditions with breathing. And the real kind of bug in the programs is if this part of your brain, when you're 0 to 3, lives with love and support and getting your needs met and being snuggled with and all that, it will associate with love and say, let's have that experience again. However, it's just an association machine. It's 350 million years old. It doesn't even have feelings. It has no sense of time. And if it lives through abuse or abandonment or anything else it will associate that with breathing and says, I need that to stay on the planet. Let's load that up again. And so there's literally a part of us that learns to survive these survivable states. And if it's not all the love that we want, the human part of us later on, it will still keep searching for that. And that's what really builds the pain, is the part of us that has associated abandonment or abuse with survival, And we keep wondering why we keep having this Groundhog Day experience. Even though the human doesn't want it, that early part of our brain does. And it's working with that really helps shift the brain to accepting a better state and being safe with it. Because it's not safe with a good experience. And that's really the key.
Mm. I'm giving people time to process that.
Well, imagine a part of your brain that just, really early associates being abandoned. Okay? Say mommy was in a car accident. I had one client, car accident, world-class mother. Nothing wrong with this mother. This was a world-class mother, and she was in a car accident and was in a body cast for 11 months, but mommy wasn't there. So she became very anxious. But the problem was she kept finding men who would abandon her because that part of her brain in the first few months of life associated abandonment with breathing, and then it kept looking for that. That's really the bug in the program. Now, the human part of her wanted a man who would stay. The part that's reptilian and has no feeling simply said, did we breathe through having someone by us? No, we breathed through something that was a little less than that. We want the other thing. And it's aligning that reptilian part of our brain, the old programming, you can call it, with what the human part really wants. That's really the trick to getting safe with love and having the love we deserve.
Mm. Thank you. I appreciate you expanding in that and giving us an example. Do you mind sharing? I know you put together a fabulous free gift, and I would love to have you take a moment and share with our listeners what that is and why they want to make sure they click on that link and say yes.
Yes. Well, I'm writing a book. I'm finishing it up sometime this year called Safe to Love Again. And because I really want to get my message out, I'm giving away Chapter 1 for free so that people can get a really good feel. And it is a real good feel. It's not just in your head. I had to learn that the hard way. But it's a really good feel for what it means when a part of our brain has gotten safe with something we don't want to have. And so the human part of us, that's a little, that came online like 4 million years ago, the human part of it says, but I want something better. This chapter will help you explain why we get stuck having the experience we don't want and why sometimes that begins to be a little bit scary. And that's why a lot of people don't want to be back in relationships, or they'll have a couple of series of maybe 1 or 2 divorces, and they don't understand why they simply can't commit anymore, or they they keep picking Mr. Wrong. This chapter helps explain the 2 big things that stop us dead in our tracks when it comes to really having the love we deserve. And then the rest of the book will explain more deeply on that. But this is the intro, so people can get a feel for how it is their brain got to the place that it wasn't safe having the love they deserved, and what you can do about it.
Thank you, Gary. I so appreciate you making that available and your desire and passion to really empower people with that information and help them not be subject to that reptilian part of their brain, but be able to shift it to really move in the direction that they're wanting to move. And we do have just about a minute before we're heading to break. Is there anything else you would like to share? Something I was thinking is, do you do any workshops or retreats, or do you ever work with people privately or in groups? How would somebody, we know you're an author and you're a transformational coach, but are there ways that people can connect with you in that?
Yes, I actually do. I work with people private sessions. They don't have to be local. I have people all over the country and even in Europe. We do Skype sessions for that. And they're usually 2 hours, and they go really deep, and they shift a lot of things. I have a retreat coming up in September 12th, 13th, and 14th. And then I have my major introductory event called Safe to Love Again Workshop. That's November 8th and 9th. And the last 3 times I've had that event, people have flown from across the country, and it's a really good event. It helps people really get a new tool set and a new perspective so they can come out and have the experience they really want. And, of course, the retreat goes way deeper than that And it's all about how one can really create a secure, lasting relationship. Whether you're single or a couple, it helps people get a new skill set for that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
listeners, I really encourage you to check out the chapter that Gary is generously making available to us. And of course, it will let you know how to. When you click on his link, he'll actually go on his list, so you'll get updated on his retreats and other programs that he has available. I really encourage you to take the opportunity to dig into his chapter and to get to know Gary a little bit deeper and more of the valuable and amazing work that he does. We're getting ready to go to commercial break, so a perfect moment for you to check that gift link, and we'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
We're on Facebook along with some of the greatest minds of the world, and that includes you. Visit us on Facebook at Voice America Empowerment.
We all want peace. We all desire a more meaningful life. We work hard to achieve these things, but at what avail? The key is authentic living with Andrea Matthews. Andrea will interview some of the great spiritual experts of today and will provide wisdom to help you raise your consciousness to the level of your own I am. Your authenticity can give you miraculous gifts, but you have to know how to get there. Listen for Authentic Living with Andrea Matthews. Heard live every Wednesday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time on the Seventh Wave Network. Get ready to experience a more fulfilling lifestyle. Tune in to Direct Connect Empowerment with host Fee Mazanke. The show will feature guests who have changed their lives by using the Direct Connect coaching program or have worked with the same concepts that this program offers. By hearing how others have been transformed, you will be inspired to move forward. Direct Connect Empowerment with Fee Mazanke can be heard live every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your break and that you checked out those amazing free gifts and chose one that really is in alignment with you. And I really hope you've had the opportunity to download Gary's generous gift and really explore and enjoy his first chapter. Our next guest is Miss Deanne Hayes. And Deanne is a good friend of mine. I love Deanne. I love you. And I love your energy and your passion for really helping people bring who they are forward. And you specialize in marketing and in branding and really bringing all of someone forward in how they're positioning themselves out there in the world. But to me, you take it to a deeper level. It's not just about their business, it's also about the person. And so what I love about that is a lot of what you have to share, I feel like translates both in personal life and in business life. And I just appreciate that about you. You are a marketing specialist, you've been a business owner, you're a leader, a coach, and a mentor, and I welcome you to the show.
Oh, my gosh, that's such kind words. Thank you, Miss Rebecca. I so appreciate being here today.
Great.
Kind of do my little happy dance on this side of the phone.
I love it. And can I share a comment that you shared while we were on break?
I would love it, please.
Okay. We were just kind of talking behind the scenes, all of us, while you guys were checking out those gifts and listening to the commercials. And we're just reflecting on some of what Gary had shared. And Deanne, do you mind? Actually, I'd love to have you share it in your words. Is that okay? About the conversation that you had had.
I'd be happy to. I was saying to Gary that we have the privilege of raising 2 foster boys. And one of them, I had a conversation with him one day that I said, you can be the person that stops this abuse, that stops this cycle in your family and all the generations to come. And I am just so excited that Gary is doing that in his life and his family, that he's the one drawing the line in the sand and saying, this stops right now for every generation that comes forward in my family.
Thank you. I just thought it was so beautiful and powerful. And actually, Gary, I loved your comment too. Do you mind sharing yours as well about the spark?
Oh, yes. I was just thinking, here we are talking, but somewhere out there could be someone driving down I-70 in the middle of Iowa or someplace on the East Coast or wherever they're at. There's someone who just needs a little spark of light that will enable them to find the way in their life. And I love the idea that we can be that spark that begins the bonfire, that allows them to be able to light their path, or for those around them to find whatever it is, whether it be love or success. And I love knowing that we can provide that spark.
Thank you. Thank you. I just thought it was such a beautiful thought and really a lot of what we're doing on the call today. So thank you for sharing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, and Rebecca, doesn't that go along with letting your light so shine?
Absolutely.
That, men can see your good works?
It does. It does.
Yeah. It's just beautiful. Yep. Oh, I love it, Gary.
Yep.
Thank you, Deanne.
Well, now we need a hug. All around.
Goodbye. Woo!
But
and we invite all the listeners to join with us.
That's right. Actually, let's do it. Why not? Okay, so I invite everyone to stand. And then those not that are driving, you can keep your hands on the wheel. But just kind of energetically picture, and if it helps, I'm actually lifting my arms up and just kind of sending a hug out with love and energy, because really what you had shared, Gary, and some of what you've shared, Deanne, and my heart in this is certainly we want you to feel hugged today. We want you to be encouraged, be inspired, feel a connection, have your heart sparked, and know that we care about you and we care that you step forward in your life, and we're here to serve you, and we're just sending you a big hug today.
Hugs all around.
And then you guys all have to hug back. You gotta, listeners, you have to take the hug in. That's the deal. So now consider yourselves hugged. Thank you. So Deanne, I'm going to focus back on you. And I would love for you to share with us your why marketing and branding and working with business owners is so important to you. Why do you care about that work? Why do you want to ink it if they can think it?
Okay, sounds good. I think my why is being a business owner for so many years. And, I had this little saying that I was a business owner since I was young, because I sold bunny rabbits for Easter. I raised them and sold bunny rabbits. So I've been an entrepreneur for a long time. But it's just so wonderful to be able to share what I've learned so other people don't make the same mistakes, that they can see success a little quicker, a little faster, and that you can touch people's lives. You can intermingle and actually see them have a smile on their face. And I think that's really what makes me do it over and over again, is when someone goes, wow, and that was really cool, and look what he did for me. And then I'm just like way excited.
I love it. And what is this? You call it, you love branding makeovers. I always have my listeners prepare some of their thoughts my guests. Listeners, I love your thoughts too, but I have my guests always prepare a couple bullet points that they want to make sure they share today and really has been placed on their heart to share with each of you. And so one of the things you marked down is that you love branding makeovers. And I would love to know what that is, why you love them, and how that serves the people you're called to serve.
Okay, sounds good. On my branding makeovers, we love to go into a business, an online business, a store, and be able to walk in with the eyes of a client. Because when you walk in every day, you look at your website, you walk into your office, you walk into your storefront, you stop seeing all the little dust bunnies in the corner. You're just there to get the work done. And you don't see what it looks like to the client. You know that maybe your signs are a little faded or maybe your colors don't look as true as they should have. And that all the branding goes together so that when you're putting a website together, the colors are what you like and what reflects you. And then everything you do surrounding is all in that color, whether it be going to and doing a vendor table, that you don't just go, oh, I've got a black tablecloth that'll work, when your colors are blue and gold. Mm-hmm. So that everything reflects. I mean, you look at the major guys like Nike, they're always in the same, that swoosh every time you see it. And so to do a total branding makeover so that all of your business cards, all of your website, all of the colors you use for a vendor booth, your entire store looks the same. So when you walk into Starbucks that you're in a Starbucks, right? Mm-hmm. You can completely see that that's Starbucks. And then you walk into a mom and pop, and you totally know it's a mom and pop. Yeah. And we can take and elevate that mom and pop so that it looks more professional. And just by putting all those elements together. And it's just really fun. It's kind of like those makeover shows on TV, but we can have the before and after, and it's just really fun.
And how would you, and you didn't put this on the points you wanted to cover, so I'm hoping that's okay. But I would love to, yeah, be warned. I would love to know how some of that can translate to how we're showing up in our world, both personal and professional. Sure. And what your thoughts are about that, because you do that really well.
One of those things that you say is, let me just give you an example. Mm-hmm. So let's say I'm a painter, and I show up at a professional business meeting, and in my painting clothes with paint all over me, and maybe even some paint in my hair. And that's great, I'm a painter. But when I'm showing up in a professional business atmosphere, then I'm the business owner. And I need to show up as the business owner. And whether, depending on what kind of a place we're going to, you want to show up like that so that you are showing your business off in the most professional light possible. And sometimes it's good to have a nice badge or maybe some embroidery, but to have, that put together look so that you're still the business owner. It's a different level of playing out there in the business field.
Mm-hmm. I would agree. And I see how even when we're not, quote unquote, at a business event, you always have something branded. And it can have some bling, it can be a little bit of playful, but you always are reinforcing who you are in the world and your message and your business. You're very, very consistent in how you do that. So I appreciate that about you.
Well, it's really cool because when we first were doing this, all of a sudden I started looking around going, wait a minute, I'm coaching all my clients to do this, and I'm not doing it. So then I had to stop and say, okay, I'm the example, and they're not going to do what I say unless I'm walking my talk.
Yep. I love that. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. It's very fun.
And what I'd love to do is we're getting ready to go to break here, but I would love to have you share about your amazing free gift.
Oh, my amazing free gift. Well, it's really fun because I've been doing all kinds of consulting, and I haven't wanted to use the word coach. I've been kind of veering away from it. And I've actually opened up, and I've got coaching clients that I coach all the time, but I haven't actually said it out loud when I'm in like networking groups and going out there in the world. And I've actually opened my mouth and started saying, I'm a marketing coach and promotional specialist. And you know what? No one has keeled over yet. They didn't die on the spot. So I was like, whoa, okay, I'm still alive. They're still alive. It's good. And so we have a 30-minute marketing business strategy session so that you can get clear on who is your ideal client and how you can attract them and what you might be able to put into place with some great marketing and some just fun stuff like that, knowing what their behavioral style is. And so 30 minutes with me, being able to talk about your business and being able to get some real clarity on who your ideal client is and how you might be able to attract more of them.
Wonderful. Thank you for making that available. And do you work with people via Skype or phone for that session?
I sure do.
How does that work? Okay, great.
All over. Yes, we do.
Okay, good. I just know that's frequently an asked question, so I wanted to make sure people knew the different forms that they could connect and work with you on. So we are getting ready to go.
I'd love to do that, yes.
Wonderful. So we are getting ready to go to break, and I encourage all of you listeners to check out Deanne's great, amazing gift. Take advantage of this opportunity to really connect with a marketing coach and specialist to really help you in your brand and your image that you're bringing forward into the world so that people can really see who you are, what you have to offer, and shine. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Live up to your fullest potential. This is the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Want more positivity in your life? Are you ready to get healthy, happy, and energized? Join the Stella Donna Goddess Gals, Cynthia Bryan and Heather Brittany, for a power hour of stimulating, supportive conversation on Star Style. Be the star you are. A lineup of best-selling authors, celebrities, and experts. Join the effervescent mother-daughter dynamic duo in this upbeat, positive, life-changing talk radio playground. Star Style. Be the star you are. Wednesdays, 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Lend us your ears. It's power time.
Do you or somebody you love have a struggle with abuse? You don't need to be a slave to your abuse anymore. Listen for Beyond Abuse, Beyond Therapy, Beyond Anything with Dr. Lisa Cooney. Dr. Lisa overcame struggles in her own life. 2 decades of sexual, emotional, and physical abuse nearly took their toll. In her 20s, she turned her life around and set upon a path to help others. She can help you find the key to take control of your life, too. Listen every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Now there's a new destination for video content, voiceamerica.tv. Just like our radio channels and so much more. Voice America Variety, Health and Wellness, Business, Sports, Green Talk, Power Up Motorsports, and Seventh Wave Network now have their own video channel components. Plus, check out exclusive programming, including movies, music, educational courses, science and history, current events, and short features. High-definition, premier quality programs available 24/7. VoiceAmerica.tv. If you think you've seen online TV like this before, let us surprise you.
Success starts here. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com. It's your world.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed your break, that you've been checking out those links and exploring the amazing free gifts that Deanne and Gary have made available to you. What you'll also notice is there's a bunch of other free gifts there too, because my guests are some of the most generous, amazing people out there, if I do say so myself. And they are willing to give very generously gifts to support you on your journey. And I leave them up over time. So whenever you go into that window, like I'll encourage you to go and check out that link next week, you'll see the gifts keep accumulating. And I really encourage you to share those opportunities with your friends, with people that will be supportive, because the more people we can reach and touch, that helps us impact the world in the way that we're gifted. And we want to make the world an empowered, sparkling place. We're talking about that spark, where each of us has the ability to move the generations of our family, the histories that we have, and start to write the history we're called to write, and really live the life and the patterns and the path that we want to. And sometimes it is repeating some of those amazing things generationally that have been passed on. And other times it is shifting powerfully and moving our family in a new direction. And we want you encouraged on those journeys to really stand in the unique way that you're made and shine. And I really want you to reflect on the wonderful information that we have received today. And I want you to pause for a moment and think about what the wisdom was that you were given when we started this show today. What it is that is on your heart that you're looking for. Take a deep breath and just see, as you sorted through the information provided to you today, wow, did that help answer that? Has that helped me move forward a little bit? Has that helped me further define what I'm looking for or what I need? Because I want you to have it. I want you to build the life that you want in a very aware and proactive kind of way, because you can have and build the life that you want, that serves you so that you can serve others, that you're really able to shine. And one of the questions I've been getting lately in my workshops and comments after the show, because sometimes people are a little shy to ask questions on the show. So Rebecca, how do you push through in those really hard moments? How do you keep a positive attitude and just keep moving forward? And they frequently notice that I do seem to be like the glass is half full kind of person. I am on the positive side of things. That's how I view the world. And I look for the moments to celebrate. I'm actively out there looking for, even if it was a really hard experience where it didn't go the way I wanted to, or when my sister-in-law passed away in a tragic accident, there were still moments where my brother and I could look at each other and still find something to smile at, to laugh at. And that was the moment that we held on to that helped us get through. It didn't lighten or lessen the tragedy and the horror of the moment and those experiences, but it helped us have courage to be able to keep moving through by finding some of those sparkling moments and celebrating that we could even do that in the midst of a really difficult situation. So I really, really encourage you to find those cookie moments, find that way to celebrate. And maybe it's I had that really hard conversation, and celebrate it. I find for myself what I can do if I receive an award or if I stand out in some way. I'm excited in the moment, and then I become very uncomfortable because now I'm being seen in a different way. I start to feel a little isolated. I don't like that, and vulnerable. And so then I'll try to shrink it back. And the way I found to counteract that and not let the wonder of the moment be taken from me, even by myself, is to actually find someone to help me celebrate it. So I encourage you to find some really good friends, someone that you can call and celebrate that cookie moment. I just had that really hard conversation, or I had this observation, or I was able to stand in a new way and try something I never did before, and they'll celebrate with you. That's how I believe you can keep a positive attitude and keep moving forward and actually enjoy the discovery process as you're moving through life. So I just had that on my heart to share with you, and I really want you actively on the lookout for these moments of celebration and find somebody to call or to give you that hug and really celebrate that moment. And then I wanted to also share what's coming up next week. And I was playing with perhaps keeping it a secret, because people always lean in when you're going to whisper a secret or give them a tip. Have you guys noticed that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ooh, what's the secret?
And then I felt like, well, I want to entice them, but I will share it.
More.
Next week, we're going to hear from Stephen Memel, who is a mentor of mine and just an amazing individual that really helps people step into their star power and fully switch on. And he's worked with some amazing talents in all different arenas, specializing in voice. And so he's going to be sharing a lot of his insights with us next week on Wednesday. And then I have Shelley Nelson, who's really going to help us step into our soul power. And when we can add up and connect, fully switching on with our deep soul power, that's when you step into your star power in a really, really powerful way. So I hope you'll be able to join us. I promise the replays will be available if for some reason you're not able to listen to us live, but I know you'll get a lot of value out of that show. Again, it's Wednesdays, 2 o'clock Pacific time on Voice America, the Empowerment Channel. I've so enjoyed having both of you on my show today. Listeners, I hope that this has been a powerful and spark setting, that you're really getting some sparks to help you move forward in a really powerful way in your life. And my heart's desire is that you will always, always, always bloom where you're planted and shine. Talk to you next week.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.